Hey guys, I am Daisho, and I am here to talk about the Deadliest Warrior. I have some Modern Warfare 2 free-for-all gameplay in the background, but I am not going to talk about that at all. I am only going to talk about Deadliest Warrior. So if you're just tuning in for that, and you see the background of Modern Warfare 2, don't worry about that. It has nothing to do with the video. So I'm going to be talking about last week's episode, which was Vlad the Impaler versus Sun Tzu. I haven't gotten around to watching this week's yet. And I'm really just going to basically say why this show is a bit ridiculous sometimes. I'm going to go through the weapons one by one and talk about the things that they do that are stupid, or once in a while they actually get something right. So we'll see what's going on. So immediately when I heard that Vlad the Impaler was matched up against Sun Tzu, I was a little angry because Sun Tzu is pretty awesome and I wanted him to win his matchup. But he had no choice but to lose because he was fighting against somebody who was 2,000 years in the future. And I mean, technology advances. Even though it hasn't advanced as much in those 2,000 years that it has in the next 200 years after Vlad the Impaler, or 300 years after Vlad the Impaler lived. And especially now, if Vlad the Impaler was fighting against somebody now, it would be 1,000 to 0, not 652 to 348. But it's still, technology did advance in that time, and Sun Tzu didn't stand a chance. But I'm gonna go through the weapons right now. So Vlad the Impaler's first weapon was the Killage, and the Killage was basically a weighted sword that was pretty impressive in that it could slice through flesh really easily. So if Sun Tzu had any exposed body parts, they easily would have been chopped off. And obviously his hands and his arms and stuff probably didn't have much armor on them, but I would have liked to see them test it against the armor, and they just decided not to for whatever reason. Sometimes the tests they design are just ridiculous, and they don't test it against the armor for no apparent reason. And the same goes with the Jian. I would have liked to see if that sword could have pierced the armor of Vlad the Impaler. I don't think it could have, but I would have liked to know, and it would have been an interesting test to see. Also, Sun Tzu, they weren't listening to the Chinese guys when they were saying that Sun Tzu's weapon was better because it could block, as opposed to and it had quick strikes, while the Killage was basically if you missed, then there's a lot of time in between blows, while Sun Tzu's you could just keep attacking really quickly because it was a lot easier to wield. But they didn't listen to that at all, and it didn't really show much in the results, though obviously it was Sun Tzu's most effective weapon. It's usually the short-range, mid-range, long-range, or special weapon that is the best one. I was going to start saying, like, one of them's usually the best, but in different cases, different weapons are the best. But anyway, so there was a little mess up I made. But the mid-range weapons was the halberd, Vlad the Impaler's halberd versus Sun Tzu's Zhua. The Zhua was kind of just like a pole with a hand at the end, which could scratch you, and while it could kill you pretty easily, I don't know. I would have definitely liked to see it against Vlad the Impaler's helmet if he just used the blunt side to attack the to hit him in the head. If that would kill him, stun him, do it, whatever it would do to him. But the halberd is definitely a better weapon. It's far superior in its materials that they use to build it, and it also is just it's just a better weapon in general. There's a reason why most people don't have hands at the end of their blade, at the end of their poles. They usually have blades. But so then Vlad the Impaler versus Sun Tzu's the steel crossbow versus the repeating crossbow. And this was one where they actually gave the edge to Sun Tzu, which is weird. They usually give 2 and 2, just 2 edges for each weapon, for each person. And this is the only time that I've ever seen them give 3 and 1. I don't think it ever happened before this, but if I'm wrong, you can correct me, I guess. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. Either way, the steel crossbow, at first I thought it was going to be a lot better because I didn't think that a repeating crossbow was going to get any kills, and but it did manage to pierce the armor, if I believe, or maybe it just went around. Yeah, he shot like the neck of the dude who had the armor on. or maybe it did go through the, I can't even remember, but, and then I expected the steel armor to, the steel crossbow to just go straight through the guy's chest, and like through the armor, but that didn't happen at all. The crossbow did not do much, the steel crossbow did not do much, and I wouldn't have given him, I don't think he should have gotten 30 kills. I'm a little surprised with that, if Sun Tzu was only able to get 46. I guess he did have longer range, so that's something that they didn't test, and also with the test about, with the, whatever, the things, crossbows. The crossbow test was so stupid, because it was clearly geared towards the repeating crossbow to win, because there's 5 enemies, and you know that it takes 30 seconds to, or 25 seconds to reload the steel crossbow, and they didn't, and, I mean, like, they knew that was gonna happen. It's not like they thought that he might be able to shoot 5 rounds with the steel crossbow and whatever, but he basically shot 20 rounds with a repeating crossbow. In my opinion, somebody who was trained to use a repeating crossbow probably would have been able to get a lot more good shots off, and maybe win the and get like almost, and probably kill all of them. But this dude probably didn't know how to use them much. But the steel crossbow was not really as good as a repeating crossbow. And then the special weapons are the things that I'm most annoyed about, which is the flaming arrows versus the hand cannon. The hand cannon was an excellent weapon, and it definitely should have won. Obviously, it was 2,000 years in advance. And flaming arrows is just the most ridiculous thing ever. Flaming arrows are not used for a one-on-one battle. They're used if you want to if you only have 5 guys on your team, and you're in your terrain and you want to kill an entire army of people. Then flaming arrows are perfect for that. If you have a smaller army and you need to distract the enemy, then flaming arrows are perfect for that. Flaming arrows are not perfect for if somebody is charging at you and you want to kill them. Then you don't shoot an arrow at them because it won't hurt them. There's a reason why. I mean, the only reason why they have the blades and the tips on them is for weighting, and so that it's easy to stick the cotton on it or whatever they used. So, in my opinion, that was probably the dumbest part of the show this week, was that they just gave flaming arrows to Sun Tzu, even though they weren't a 1 versus 1 kind of weapon. So, in the end, Vlad the Impaler won, and that's definitely what should have happened. Vlad the Impaler would murder Sun Tzu, probably. But they underestimated the X Factor. I think Sun Tzu's X Factor was basically like, I'm gonna win no matter what, and he won for hundreds of years. And I mean, so did Vlad the Impaler, but Sun Tzu was so much cooler, so he should have won. No, I'm just kidding. I think Sun Tzu should have won, but I mean, shouldn't have won. I think Vlad the Impaler should have won because he was way further in advance. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Deadliest Warrior commentary, and that's about it. Have a great day, guys.